You guys ever... never mind. We'll get into it. How's everyone doing? Good? Anybody do anything cool since yesterday? No? So, tonight, start by asking you a question. Why are you here? Don't say food.
Because I want to be here. This is God's house.
You want to be here? This is God's house. Not bad?
Learn.
To learn. Okay. Not bad. Why are you guys here? Your parents made you come? Melanie's parents made her come. So tonight's lesson is going to be about motivation. So you guys said you had a little bit of different reasons for coming here. Different this, that, or the other. So let's break the word down a little bit. How many people here feels like they have motivation? They're motivated. Just in general? Are motivated all the time? I'm going to raise her hand. Alright. So, ation. The word ation. So, motivation. It's a suffix forming nouns. So, ation just indicates an action, like a process, a state, or a condition. So, like hibernation is the act of hibernating. Moderation, the act of moderating. Sensation, the act of sensing. Something like that. And motive is an inner drive or impulse, your intentions kind of. It causes you to do or act something or in a certain way. And it's more an emotion, a desire, a physiological need, or a similar impulse. So when you think about like police, when somebody murders somebody, they want to find the motive, like why they did it. It's kind of the best example, even though it's a little morbid. But the motive. So motivation, in everyday usage, the term motivation is frequently used to describe why a person does something. It is the driving force behind human actions. So, what motivates you? So that's what I asked you at first. So you said it's just God's house, you wanted to be here. You know, Victoria said to learn. Mom just raised her hand and said she's motivated. Well, what motivates you? Okay. So, what about you guys? What motivates you? Just generally speaking. Fellowship motivates you? Coming here and hang out with everybody? Okay, not bad. So, I like where everyone's head's at, but let's take it a little bit out of here and let's go to work. What motivates you to go to work? Why does everybody go to work?
Money. Because they have to and to make a living.
Have to make a living. Okay. Yeah, it's not fun going to work a lot. You know, you wake up and you go, just getting dressed is slow, and you're like, sometimes you drive a little slower on your way there. Not me, because I wake up late a lot. I have to drive real fast to work. But, so, what if work didn't pay you?
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go to work?
No.
I would. I like taking care of my residents.
So you just go for free every day?
Not every day, but...
Not every day. You go on your own terms at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if work didn't pay you, obviously we wouldn't really go. So by that logic, is money not the motivation that you go to work?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much the money for it, right? So what if the dollar failed? What if you woke up and money was just paper, wasn't worth anything anymore? Stock markets are crashed and everything's gone.
Go back to sleep.
Just roll over and go back to sleep. Might as well. You wouldn't be motivated at all then, would you? So if the dollar failed, you wouldn't be motivated to go to work anymore. So let's say you did wake up, like Dad was saying, it has happened before. It's just, something that's not out of the realm of possibility. What would the first thoughts that go through your head be? If you wake up on the news, they're like, the dollar failed, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not getting paid anymore either. So now there's no TV, there's no cell phones go out, electricity and all that. What was the first things that would go through your mind?
Nothing you could do about it. Just go day to day. That's it.
Day to day doing what?
Better be
Nothing.
figuring something out.
Gotta figure something. How you gonna pay bills?
Okay.
How you gonna get groceries?
Can't
Stock up now.
How you gonna get around?
walk.
Gas either, huh?
Gotta walk, drive a bicycle or something. Where you gonna live?
Well, something to think about.
Can't pay the rent.
I live in mountains somewhere.
So I'm kind of doing a psychological thing right here. And I'm
Basically, I gotta have something.
not trying to trick you or anything, but we said that money was the motivation to go to work.
Yeah, it is.
So now we only wanted the money because of the things we had. You have to go to work to make a living, to buy the groceries, to buy the house you live in, to buy the cars to get around, to buy everything. So it's not necessarily you're motivated by having stuff. Not everybody wants a big Lamborghini or a nice car or a huge house. They just want something. But it's not necessarily the want of it that's motivating you to get up and go to work. It's what would happen if you didn't get up and go to work for the money. So it's not necessarily the possessions, it's the loss of the possessions that makes you go to work. So if you go to work because you don't want to lose your possessions, are you not then motivated by
Fear.
fear? Fear of losing what you have. Fear of losing what you've already worked for to that point. So you can say money's the driver, you can say work's the driver, but ultimately it's the loss of things that's going to motivate you. So I've thrown motivation around. At first we were motivated. Nobody really knew what that was. They just thought they were, and we didn't really know kind of what about. Some people had some good answers that they thought was motivation and everything. But let's take a look at sports champions for a second. The greats. So you got Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor, Tiger Woods. These people, when they were coming up and starting out, just took the world by storm. They're going through knocking out everybody, hitting hole-in-ones, setting records left and right, and then they make it. They get the belts, they get the championships, they get the money, they get the fame, they get the houses, cars. And then what usually happens to people in that situation? They quit training, start going downhill a little bit, start doing more commercials than they do training. They start getting in trouble here and there, doing some little things because they think they're untouchable. So at some point, they were motivated and they lost it. Lost the motivation for it. They changed what they were motivated by to the point where what got them there in the first place is no longer enough to sustain that. So there's where you get motivational speakers. See, these people had a goal that they were motivated towards. Most of us, including myself, don't really have a goal. I don't want to be a champion boxer. So not everything in my life gets me around being a championship boxer. I don't really even like golf that much. So I'm not going to go out and practice golf every day to get there. I just want to do the best that I can with the things that I like and what I want, which is what I'm sure the majority of people in the world do. So where does our motivation come from? We don't have a big belt or a big trophy at the end of our lives for our goal and what we want. So therefore a lot of us, or a lot of people, aren't motivated. And that's where this market comes in. You have motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, David Goggins, Eric Thomas, Oprah, Gary Vaynerchuk, all these different names that are only famous for their motivational capabilities, for making people get up and do something. Fortunately, I've never really been one to, hear a motivational speaker and be like, woo, let's go and get it. But some people, they kind of do. That's what they listen to. That's why these people are millionaires and billionaires now. So motivational videos on YouTube, just to prove my point. I typed in motivational videos. That's what you see there. 40 million views, 3 million views, 1 million views, 72 million views on that one. And another 300,000 at the bottom, just from the first results. You can keep going and find plenty more. So I just wanted to make the point on that the people that watch these videos, you're watching it, but watching a Bruce Lee video 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, it's never going to make you Bruce Lee. You can watch it as much as you want to. And when you motivate an idiot, all you have is a motivated idiot. So we just took motivation at first and changed this definition just by little psychological questions throughout it, to where, oh, we're motivated by money. No, we're not. We're motivated by stuff. Oh, no, we're not motivated because we didn't get the fear of it. It's easy to throw around. It's easy to jerk the rug out from under and leave it with nothing. So motivation, I know what you guys like when you're thinking about motivation, that this is a Bible study, not necessarily an anti-motivational speech, but there's a reason that I haven't brought anything up biblically yet about motivation, and it's because, well, it's not biblical. So motivation, not in the Bible once. Motivate is not even in the Bible. Motive is not even in the Bible. As a matter of fact, this word didn't even come around until the 1900s, and it didn't really gain popularity until around 1990, 2000, right about the time that things started going downhill for everybody, for Christians especially. That's when everybody wants to get motivated, and when the word took on meaning and started making millionaires and stuff. So motivation, kind of got to watch out for it. What even is it? It's kind of air when you think about it. I just threw it around and made it do whatever I wanted it to do. But that brings us to dedication. What's the difference? Motivation and dedication. Well, dedication, an act or a rite of dedicating to a divine being or to a sacred use. The dedication of a temple. They build up a structure. We built this for God. We dedicate what we have just built to the worship of God. Kind of like what you say here. We've dedicated this night to God when we get together and learn about the Bible. A devoting or setting aside for a particular purpose. The dedication of funds raised from the bake sale to the class trip. All the funds, all the money we get here is for the church. Goes right back into the church. It's dedicated to the church. Church is dedicated to God. Vicariously, all our money goes dedicated to God. And it's self-sacrificing devotion and loyalty, such as her dedication to the cause required hard work and dedication. So when somebody's training for the event, like all those other people, and you see them out running in the rain, you see them getting tired, but they keep on doing it anyway, no one's really like, oh, they're motivated. You might wonder what motivates them, but you're like, man, that is a dedicated person. No matter what happens to them, they're going to do it. Dedication. So 1 Chronicles 26. Out of the spoils won in battles did they dedicate to maintain the house of the Lord. So when they went and conquered an army, they got the spoils and dedicated them to God. Like, God, you allowed us to conquer this army, so everything we got from conquering it, we're going to dedicate to you. Ezra 6. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the rest of the children of the captivity, kept the dedication of this house of God with joy, and offered at the dedication of this house of God 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and for a sin offering for all Israel, 12 he-goats, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. So when they were led, they kept the dedication to this, and they gave a great sacrifice to God. God, thank you for getting us out of this. We'll show that we're still dedicated to your purpose, dedicated to you. Here's this massive sacrifice of 100 bullocks, 200 rams, and 400 lambs. Think about how that would look in a field. It's a lot of animals. So, this is the big one. Deuteronomy 20. So, for the Lord your God, He is He that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. So, you build a house. You heard it said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. Stuff like that. So back then, you had to be dedicated to a certain ruler, the house of David, the house of Solomon. You're a follower of that. The tribes of Israel, you were dedicated to a certain group. So you would have a house, that you would dedicate ultimately to God, but usually a different sect. This one's saying you better dedicate what you have, or somebody else is going to come and dedicate it for you. But not only your house. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not eaten of it? Let him also go and return into his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. So you must, if you're doing the stuff you're supposed to do, if you have stuff that you dedicated to God, you better keep it dedicated to God, or someone else is going to come do it and dedicate it for you. And what man is there, and guys, listen up, what man is there that hath betrothed the wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. So not only that, dedication goes to your wives as well, and it's biblical. So if it's your wife, you better keep her, and you better be dedicated to her, and you better dedicate yourself, or somebody else is going to come and dedicate her for that. It's kind of like if you have something and you dedicate it to God, or you're dedicated to it, you better keep your head in the ball game, because there's other people that really want that. Let's go back to sports champions for a minute. So they got their house, their vineyards, their women, and they lost their dedication to it. They kind of fell to the wayside. What happened? Somebody else came and took their belt, knocked them out. Someone else came and got all the money that they would be getting had they have stayed dedicated into the game. So we said they lost their motivation, but that didn't really work because they got everything they were motivated to get. But for the dedication is what they had, that when they lost, everything else fell apart with it. So that's the importance of dedication. So people pretend to be victims of their own behavior as if they aren't the ones who control it. Don't resist temptation, just don't do it, or flee if you have to biblically. You're allowed to run away. I won't make fun of anybody if you run away from temptation. If you see cupcakes in the back and you're like, no, cupcakes, and run out. Biblically, we shouldn't say anything to you. But people pretending to be battling temptations that they still privately enjoy falling for, cupcakes and stuff, then they pretend to be devoid of agency and claim, they couldn't help themselves. But in truth, this is mostly a way of having your degenerate cake and sanctimoniously throwing it away at the same time. That hits me too. It's me and probably everybody at some point. It's like, you say you're trying hard, but then at the first little tick to take you off your motivational track, it just falls to pieces. But what if you were actually, instead of motivated to lose weight, you were dedicated to losing weight? Then you wouldn't just be, lapse of motivation, because the motivation was to eat that cupcake that was right in front of me, because it's delicious. But your dedication to the long-term goals, your dedication to your body and not putting that in it, might take you a little bit further. So motivation is more of an emotion that you feel. It comes and goes, it's there, it's gone and all that. It's basically not even real. And dedication is a characteristic. It's more of a defining factor. He is dedicated, not he is motivated. Cool, motivated to what? There's this guy coming. Is this guy coming to fix my car? Is he any good? Well, he's motivated. I'm going to be like, oh, great. A motivated mechanic coming to fix my car, great. But if you're like, he's a dedicated mechanic. Look at that. Watch this dedication. I'm not even going to look at it. So dedication is a characteristic. So being dedicated is more of a who you are, how you feel at one moment in time has no effect on that. So motivation, you can come, you can go, depending on how you feel. Dedication is not. It's an everyday kind of grind thing. So dedication is what separates the eternal from the temporary, the Christ-like from the church-goers, so to speak. So achievement is about dedication over the motivation. Am I more dedicated to do what I want to do for the purpose I've dedicated myself or my time to than I am motivated to do this right now, to eat that cupcake? So it's willpower over a fleeting emotion. And being motivated is a luxury because it's nice to really want to do something and then do it. But anyone can work hard when they're motivated to. Being dedicated means you can work hard even when you're not, even when you don't want to do stuff. I don't know if you guys know this or not, I'm not really telling myself, but sometimes putting together like a 50-page PowerPoint after working all day, I'm like, I don't really want to do this. But there's no way I'm not going to do it because you guys would call me silly and make fun of me and all that and everything, bring cupcakes to me in front of my presentations about motivation and all that. So, like, sometimes you just didn't want to come to church. Well, what if one day Eric just wasn't motivated and he just didn't come to church Sunday morning? So I'm just not feeling it today, not really motivated. We'd all be like,
We miss him.
well, we miss him, go to his house. Well, I do. So, but it's not necessarily motivation because it's not always there, but the dedication is what keeps him here every Sunday. The dedication is what keeps Sean and us things up here. Dedication is what keeps you guys coming here on Thursdays and Wednesdays and Sundays to learn about it, to fellowship, to just be around each other, because it's kind of what we're supposed to do. We dedicate portions of our time throughout our week to God. We dedicate portions of the day to reading the Bible, whether it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes you're not going to be motivated to read the Bible. But if you dedicate, like, I don't care if I'm motivated or not, this 10 minutes every day is dedicated to reading the Bible for God. This 15 minutes is dedicated. It's set apart. Now, how I feel at the time doesn't matter anymore, because I can either want to or not. I'm still going to do it. And it still gets done. So, to accomplish anything worthwhile, you need to be truly dedicated to that. So, all these motivational videos we were talking about earlier, you think those 116 million people went and changed their lives after they watched those videos? I'll bet 1, 2, maybe it had a significant impact on. That's probably it. So all those hours and millions that watched it basically resulted into just a waste of time. I bet they couldn't even quote one little line from it. Because the minute something gets hard, the last thing you think about is that motivational video you just watched. So, James chapter 1. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Be ye doers, not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, goeth his way, and straightway forget the manner of man he was. But do you think about how you just looked in the mirror 10 seconds after walking away from it? No, you look in it, hair's good, makeup's good, teeth clean, alright, boom. Completely forget what you even look like. Think about it psychologically. It doesn't register that you still look like that person you were looking in the mirror. So, for he beholdeth himself and goeth this way, straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. So, I've heard all these things in the Bible. Now I'm going to do them, and that's going to build you up. Now you can look in the mirror and be like, cool. I had to work hard all day. I'm not going to be pretty as that, but... And if any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, I get up here and I'm like, come on guys, we're going to get it. This is God's time. Everybody coming here. Alright. And then you get nothing out of it. You just heard me saying it's God time and stuff like that. I'm just a motivational speaker. I gave you no sustenance of God whatsoever. Say I'm a pastor and I'm just up here and I get you leaving the church like, yeah, I'm pumped up. I don't know what for, but, I'm pumped up. Are you motivated? Yeah, what's motivation mean? I don't really know, but I feel like I really want to do something. Is God cool? Yeah, with, all the stuff that the preacher said. No sustenance, it's motivation, it's fleeting, it's motivational speaker. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the word of God. So if you find yourself struggling in life, your work, your faith, and you just seem to be not motivated, so to speak, that's okay. You're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to want to do stuff. So motivation doesn't always help you. It doesn't even really help you at all because it doesn't even really exist. But the dedication, whereupon neither the First Testament was dedicated without blood. So not even the Bible came to you without the dedication of blood. Christ wasn't motivated to go down on a cross, I promise. But he was dedicated to the cause of his Father, and he went up and did it anyway, even though he probably really didn't feel like it. He knew the benefits of it, so he went and he did it anyway, through dedication. He didn't even know what motivation was because the word wasn't made up yet to the 1900s. So, any questions? All right, thanks, guys. You turn me off. It's my version of a motivational speech.
Stole a picture of me.
Tony Robbins.